We're going to do shoot and review today of the Cyelee Wolf 2 pistol RMR red dot. I have the original Wolf 0, which if I was thinking I would have brought it and showed you. But this is the Wolf 2, so the original Wolf 0 is just a little 2 or 3 MOA red dot. But this one has a, can't think of the term right now, but kind of like a little circle crosshair. It's 64 MOA circle with a, again, a 30 MOA red dot in the middle. This one is red, but they also offer it in green as well if you would prefer that. Also previously tested their Cat 2. I'm actually working on the same videos on the same day. And their Cyelee Bear enclosed emitter. But I'll put a link in the description to the original Wolf 0 or Wolfa or whatever you would call it. Link in the description to that if you want to check it out. And then of course put a link in the description to this Wolf 2 as well. But as I said, she's for the RMR pistol cut, but you can also mount this. They provide this rail mount here, so you can put it on a shotgun or rifle if you want, but to put it on a pistol, we'll just have to detach it from this base that they provide, and it'll mount right up on an RMR pistol cut. So inside the box, obviously I've already got her pulled out there. Comes with this nice little rubber cover there. Fits real nice. Got your instructions there. 3-year warranty on these, by the way, guys. Some quick reference cards there. Okay. Screen wipe right there. And then they provide the mounting hardware that's going to fit most pistols that you're going to try to mount it to, if your pistol doesn't already come with the hardware. It may not fit every single model out there, but it's going to fit most. Down in here you got your little tools, what you need for mounting and adjustments on the windage and elevation. 40 MOA of adjustment, windage and elevation. See, now I can't get this thing back out of here one-handed. It fits pretty well, which I like. I don't have to worry about it falling off. It's got the shake awake, so after sitting idle, if it's perfectly still like so, less than 10 minutes, it'll shut off on its own if you have it on, or you can turn it on and off manually. There's like 8 or 10 different brightness settings. This thing, super bright. They always are. Every single model I've ever had from them. Sorry, it's a little hard to do one-handed there. Okay, I don't have it up very bright. Plenty of brightness. I mean, it's broad daylight if you couldn't tell. That's a bright white target. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Bright white target out there, and have no problem whatsoever. If I can get this lined up right. It looks, God, I gotta get a focus. This is impossible to do with one hand. Let me boop the focus with my nose here. And I'm gonna have to get set up better. Anyways, it always looks much better, much more clear and crisp in person with my own eye than it does on the camera. The camera does a really bad job of showing these things, but much more brighter too. So whatever you see in the camera here, it actually looks about twice as bright for me. Let me see here. There you go. It's about the only way I could get it positioned to show you guys, but it's, again, it's brighter in person. You can see that's plenty of bright to see even against that white background if I could actually get it on there. And the size of it, it's more like something like that. Again, it's messing with it with the camera. It does not look that dinky. It fills the screen pretty good. So I've noticed depending on how far it is, again, the camera is different. You can see it there. That's pretty close. Not the brightness or clarity or anything, but like the size. If you hold it out like this, like you would if you're firing it from a pistol, that's about the size that it looks. And then as you bring it up closer, yeah, it's shrinking in the camera too. It gets smaller, so if you have it on a rifle or a shotgun or something closer to your eye, you're going to have a smaller, more precise reticle there. Whereas on a pistol, you hold it out like that, it does a pretty good job of filling most of that screen there. So it gives you a real big reticle for real quick acquisition. Now, but these are all IPX7 waterproof certified, fog-proof, multi-coated lens, obviously shock-proof. You're going to be putting on pistol slides as it's intended to be slamming back and forth, no issue there. This one's got top mount battery, so you do not have to detach it from whatever firearm you have it on. So change the battery so you don't have to worry about losing zero or just the added hassle of having to remove it to change the battery. It's right there on top. You can see there's your windage adjustments. There's your elevation adjustments on the side. I'm gonna get a plate mounted up here that I'm doing a review on my G2, it's a 9mm. And we'll get started knocking down some steel after I get a 0 on it. So actually I'm going to start out using my 22 here, that way we can get more rounds to this thing anyways. But common misconception, a lot of people would think, you know, a 9mm 40-45 is going to beat that optic up more, which obviously that's what they're designed for anyways, is centerfire pistols. But that's not necessarily true, because you have lighter springs, recoil springs for the 22, obviously, because it's a lighter recoiling round, less power. Whereas with a 9mm you have a stiffer spring, and then with 40 cal even stiffer yet. So the slide velocity on them, how fast it slams back and forth each time you fire it, is actually pretty close to the same whether you're shooting a 22 or a 9mm. So running them on a 22 is almost the same wear and tear as running them on a 9mm. I'm going to start out down here on my gong and see where we're impacting and make the necessary adjustments to get this thing zeroed. Alright, so we're off to the right, obviously. Excuse me. Safety's on, and it's a little hard to do one-handed, but I want to move it to the left. So I'm going to turn it the opposite direction here. And let's see how that does. Well, if I was a better shot, we'd be able to tell better, but definitely shifted to the left there, so it's probably good to go now, but it is a little bit low, so I'm going to bring it up some. We're about 10 yards back here, but I'm just going to aim center on that left ear. And obviously I'm standing, so I'm not 100% steady here, but and that second shot that went low right there, that was obviously 100% me. I jerked that one, but we're pretty centralized on the ear there like I wanted, so. Now I will still switch over to 9mm here in a minute, but I'm going to have a little more fun with the 22. I'll walk up there and hit some of these steel targets. Keep in mind 22 does not have that much power, that much energy. So a lot of these, if not all of them, they really won't fall over when I hit them with the 22 unless I hit them a few times in rapid succession or hit them at the very tippy top. Since it's easier to see back here behind the camera, here is 15 yards to that back row. Just shoot that football a few times. I didn't expect it to fall, so I went to the bowling pin on the left thereafter. Sorry about the shakes here, but I'm trying to get a good capture for you guys. That's about what it looks like to me there. Only it appears at least twice that bright in person, and I don't even have it up all the way, so plenty of brightness for broad daylight. But that's about what you're looking like there, and of course it's going to be more crisp and clear in person as well. Camera never quite captures it right, but it's real easy to bring that up quick. And instead of hunting for that little tiny dot, you're like, where is it? When you bring that up, you know immediately where you're at because you got that big circle crosshair, and then anything's inside that circle, you know you're going to hit it. So that reticle is a lot better, a lot quicker target acquisition that way. And if you ever bring up a red dot and you're slightly too high, slightly too low, left, right, whatever, your dot will be completely out of the window, and it might take you a second hunting for it like this to find it, especially if you're new to using red dots. It takes a little while to get used to it. With that big round reticle there, it's a lot easier to find it. And if you are a little left, high, low, whatever, some part of that big reticle there is going to be in that window. So you won't be fumbling around like, where is it? Especially if your life's on the line. You're going to be able to see it, like, you know which way you got to bring it immediately. So it's going to be a lot better for target acquisition, just going rapid fire from one target to the next. But also just much better bringing it up and finding it immediately because of that big circle. And then you still got the little tiny fine red dot in the center for precision shooting. Hoping to take it down to the rifle range in this video and get some long range shots, at least 50 yards, maybe 100 if I have time. With the original Wolfo, I've got that thing out to 100 yards, no problem. 13 out of 13 hits at 100 yards with 0 misses. So I'm sure the Wolf 2 would be no different because that center dot is just as fine as the original Wolf 0 or Wolfo. But I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to the 9mm now. Alright, so I already ran 20 off camera just messing around and getting it zeroed. So set these back up and I'll hit them for you with the 9mm. I'll tell you another thing regarding that reticle. When that's bouncing around like crazy, rapid fire like that, that little tiny dot on the original Wolfo, and like most red dots, you just have the singular dot, little tiny 3 MOA dot. With that big round circle in there, I could see that the whole time. So it's going to help me shoot a little faster, a little more accurately, rapid fire like that, and still hit my target. I did miss one just barely high because the recoil was kicking it up over the target, obviously, and then as soon as I seen that red circle basically come back down to the top of that gong there, I was pulling the trigger again. I missed one, but I could see it the whole time. With just the singular dot, little tiny dot in the center, doing this before, a lot of times I'll lose the dot and I don't see it anymore, and then I start missing my shots because I cannot see the dot anymore. So that's another advantage there. Again, it looks smaller there. What I just showed you guys is how big it actually looks. Depends on where you hold this in relation to how far away or close from your face or whatever. But that having that ring there, that helps a lot with rapid fire because you can see it the whole time. Go down here about 7-10 yards and knock these pins over. Those misses just me running this pistol just a little too fast. I'm not the best with this pistol, so I got 5 rounds left in that box, I think. Set some of these back up and we'll try from back here at 15 yards on these headshot sized targets. Also guys, without having paper targets out here, I'm sure the 0 on this is not quite perfected. I really need some paper to print groups on to perfect that 0, so it's probably not 100% zeroed either. Alright guys, well, other than any rifle range footage I either already put in or may have included at the end of the video as a little bonus footage if I made it down there, I don't know yet. That's going to wrap this one up. Obviously I had no issues out here today with this red dot, everything works as it should. I've had a few comments, people wanting to see me do like torture tests and whatnot, and I don't have the money to be like destroying my stuff or whatnot, but I think I will have a freeze video and a waterproof video coming up on these, I don't know, within a few months probably. I'm also going to have a 1-year update video on the original Wolfo, Wolf 0, which I've had 0 issues out of that guy. Got like 5,000 rounds through it now, probably 22 and 9mm. But I'll have that coming up. I'll do submerging them in water and putting them in the freezer and whatnot, but I'm not going to bash them on rocks or anything. So if you want to see that, I'll have that coming up on 3 or 4 of them, all Cyelee. As I said, I really like the reticle on this. I think this would be an excellent reticle for, you know, actual like concealed carry or home defense or whatever. Because like I said, that, again, it's hard for me to capture on camera. But the reticle on that, it's much easier to catch when you first bring it up. Like I said, God forbid if you're holding the pistol slightly wrong and that one tiny little center dot is completely out of the window with that big circle ring, you're going to see it somewhere and be able to immediately bring it back and correct it. If you shoot red dots a lot, it's not so much of a problem, but a lot of people struggle with that, especially people that are new to shooting red dots on pistols. But they do give you excellent accuracy, much more pinpoint accurate than iron sighting, especially long range. But I really like the idea of that reticle in an actual self-defense scenario. And especially, like I said, with that circle, if you're shooting a larger target, like an actual, human attacker or something, if they're in that circle, you're good to go. Just pull the trigger. Now, the only thing I will say about it, as far as target shooting, like out here, the ring and whatnot, it does distract away a little bit, trying to do like these precision shots back here 15 yards on these smaller targets. So for just plinking and trying to be precise and whatnot, I'd probably go with just the standard little red dot. But like I said, if you're going to carry it or keep it home defense or whatever, I'm definitely going with that reticle right there. But that'll do it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Again, link in the description if you want to go check this out for yourself. I also have a link for the original Wolfo, Wolf Zero. Check out the parts, accessories, and optics playlist on the channel to catch the other Wolfos, or excuse me, the other Cyelee red dots that I have tested. Links in the description for the products you see me use in the video, like my earmuffs, shooting glasses, steel targets, and more. But again, I appreciate y'all stopping by and watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.